All right, we're gonna go on to the gambling segment now, though. This week we did running backs and the very few receivers that they had, Julio Jones and Tim Tebow. But this week we're going to be doing quarterbacks over-unders on yards. And honestly, I'm really excited for this one. And it's going to be interesting. We also have to say that there are 17 games in the season. I did not really think about this when I was going through it. So I might change a couple of mine.
It's real bad.
Dude, it's hard. It's hard to remember that. All right, so we're starting off with Patrick Mahomes. Over-under 5,050.5. I also want to say that every single yardage total has a 0.5 after it. So I'm just going to say the yardage and not 0.5 every time.
So over.
I'm also going to say over.
I'm going to go under.
I'm over. Dobbs, let's hear it. What you got?
All right. Well, I mean, I don't think he can. Like, I think he can do it. I just think it's more like I think they're going to try to balance out the run game. I mean, it's really hard to throw for 5,000 yards like more than even once in your career. So, you know what I mean? Like, he could do it. He has a great O-line to do it, great receiving core as possible. I just feel like they're going to focus on balancing running like the ball so that when the playoffs come, if they really want to unleash the pass attack, which obviously is their biggest strength, you don't have a ton of film out on it yet. So I don't know. Like, I feel like I think he'll, if I was to give you a prediction, I think he'll throw like 4,800, 4,900, 4,700, kind of like in that range.
Did y'all peep what he said though? He said it's really hard to throw over 5,000 yards once in your career just because Drew Brees has done it multiple times.
No.
Yeah, I peeped it. Don't worry. No, I peeped it.
Hey, Peyton Manning, there's others in that company. There's others.
No, everyone else only did it once. I think Drew Brees is the only person to do it over once.
I actually could be wrong.
I swear to God, I keep seeing this graphic all over the place.
I know. I'm like slacking.
Peyton Manning has one. Yeah.
Yeah. It is. It's hard to do.
Oh my! See,
it's damn hard to do.
This is why he's gonna do it, because he said he's shooting for 20-0 this year. I just think he's super motivated. He has the O-line to do it this year, and yeah, he's gonna do it. I
agree. I think he's gonna do it. I think he's been close like every fucking year, and then like. He did it the 1 year, and then my other thing is like Dobbs. I agree. I think they're going to implement the run game a little bit more, but I don't think it's going to be like that drastic. But this is crazy. Patrick Mahomes is 38-8 as a quarterback.
That is insane.
Shit.
38-8?
That's ridiculous.
Oh my God, bro. He's never lost more than 4 games in a season.
Oh my gosh, bro! And they're over. Their over in wins is 12.5. That's 4 games. If they lose 4 games, they're gonna hit that.
Wait, it's only 12.5.
12.5.
There's 17 games, and they had 14 last year.
Yep.
Connor, what'd you say about Andy Reid too?
Andy Reid has hit his over on win totals every year he's been the Chiefs head coach. Every single year.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Dobbs,
I threw 100 on that, by the way.
That is a good bet, Connor. Dobbs, you do make a good point, though. Bieniemy did make it a little bit more of a mission to run the ball more. So I definitely see that, too. I think that is a little bit of a concern. But I think with the extra game, he's got to do it. All right. You guys ready for the next one?
Yes.
Matt Stafford over under 4,700 yards.
Over easily.
I'm going to go under.
I'm going to go under as well.
I am over. So, under, guys.
So y'all go ahead. I'll defend us, Dylan, because there's literally
I just
one
want to say,
stat
I want to say
know.
one thing after you two, Hunter.
Okay.
I feel like me and Dobbs have a similar idea on this one. You know, Cam Akers is the only guy in that backfield now. And the last time that the Rams had a one-man backfield, they fucking ran him into the ground. You know, and then Todd Gurley had that knee shit or whatever. But Todd Gurley had like an offensive player of the year like type season. So I really think Cam Akers is going to take a huge role in that offense.
You know, I got to say this too, Connor, because I agree with everything you said except for one thing. It's not even just the one man. Darnell Henderson's about to come into his own this year too. I feel like it's going to be
him.
he'll be a nice relief whenever the Cam Akers needs this like a breather. And I think that Sean McVay is going to get back to what got them to the Super Bowl. And with the quarterback that can actually win the Super Bowl, like just churn out yards, keep the clock in your possession, fantastic defense. That's all they need to do. Like he doesn't need to throw 4,700 yards. He could throw for 4,300, 40 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, like some shit, win the MVP. That's why I like he's dark horse MVP because the team's built to be damn good and he's built to be a damn good leader of the team. That's the way I see the Rams like operating this year.
That was what I was told about Darnell Henderson when I drafted him last year, and he didn't really do too much.
Darrell.
So, but Darrell, my bad.
I don't know why I always call him Darnell. I have to apologize about that.
Darrell. So the over is 47.5. Okay. Jared Goff threw for 4,600 yards twice in McVay's offense. If you don't think, and he has an extra game this year, he threw for 46.88 and 46.38. So he was less than 100 yards short of hitting Matt Stafford's over with McVay. I'm sorry.
That's probably how they set the line,
That's a good
honestly,
point.
too.
Yeah. Jared
That's a
Goff?
really good point.
Yeah.
Ew.
I also don't want to use my time with Matt Stafford to talk about how shitty Jared Goff is, but I just think that McVay is so happy to have a competent quarterback. And I think I agree with you guys. I just think they're going to have
shit about him. He said competent quarterback.
Jared Goff is officially incompetent.
I know, sorry, but but I do agree with you. I think Cam Akers is going to be a total stud this year. I just think their offense is going to be that good where Cam Akers is going to eat and Matt Stafford is going to go crazy. I think the Rams might have the best offense this year. They might put up more yards total than the Chiefs even. I think they're seriously going to be that good. So I think everyone's going to eat in that offense.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next one we got Tom Brady over under 4,500 yards.
I looked at stats for every single person on this list besides Tom Brady because every time I've bet against Tom Brady I have lost money. So over.
I'm going to go under.
I'm going to go over.
I'm over as well. So Connor.
My reasoning isn't that sound, but the way I see it, he's a game manager guy. If they're up by fucking 20 points, they're going to run the ball a lot. If he has to hit an over, I think he's going to have a stat padding year. And I just don't see him throwing for that many yards. I could see the touchdowns popping up, but the yards it's not a safe enough bet for me to want to bet the over.
It's actually a damn good point, dude. That's a damn good point.
I guess it was pretty sound.
They're going to be a great team.
A little bit.
This is Florida, Tom. This isn't New England, Tom, anymore.
Connor.
Fair enough, bro. Fair enough. If it is
Florida, Tom.
I think it's going to be really close. He did hit it last year, just as an FYI to everyone. But it was only by 133 yards. So it wasn't anything crazy. He didn't shatter it by any means. But I don't know. It's going to be close, I think. I don't know if this is a for sure over or under.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That was a quick one. I'm excited to talk about this one. Also shocked by your answer, Connor. Ryan Tannehill over or under 4,050 yards?
I'm gonna go over because for 2 years in Miami,
we all know you're gonna go over, Hunter.
yeah. So the 1 year in Miami he had 4,200, and then the 1 year he had 45. Last year, he had 3,800, right? So he's got another game to get about 250 yards, and I honestly think this is my idea of the Titans offense this year. I think it's going to be relatively similar, but I think when they do those play actions, they're going to do more shot plays because they have Julio Jones. So I think he's going to be throwing not necessarily more, but for a longer, more yards just because of the distance he's throwing it. So that's why I think he'll hit this, but I do see it as an on the fence type thing.
Changing my answer. I'm a coward.
I just love seeing it slowly erase and then get typed in again.
Because the Titans are going to go to the Super Bowl this year. Besides the Bills, they're so good. People, I don't know why people don't think the Titans are a superstar top level team. It doesn't make any
Their
sense.
offenses,
They're
their
in
offenses for
contention
sure.
every year.
Their defense isn't that great.
They look at their offense. That's all I have to say.
Their offense is crazy. Connor Dobbs, you have anything to say on it?
I mean, I feel like okay, so this is something we haven't even discussed. This needs to be discussed. New offensive coordinator, Julio Jones.
Right.
I feel like there's no way that they're not going to spread things out more, like throw the ball, like you said, even Hunter a little bit more. I think they're just too sound of an offensive tree of receivers to for him not to go over 4,050 yards.
I think. Sorry, Connor. Do you want to say anything? Okay. I think it's kind of like you get a new toy, you want to use it, right? Like you got Julio Jones off the play action too. Like if the offensive coordinator calls the right plays, works the run game and play action well, I just don't see how they don't hit this. I think it's one of those scenarios almost like with Matt Stafford where they're just like, we're going to have some fun this year. Like we're going to sling it around.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree.
All right. Lamar Jackson over under 3,200 yards.
Over. I think this is incredibly low for 17 games. And I also think someone made the point where he'd have to throw for 200 yards a game. That's nothing. My thing is he may throw 150 one week, but then he throws 310 the next week. And it's you're already set. I mean, I think this is an easy over.
I'm with Hunter. It's 188 yards a game for him to hit this, which is pretty damn
low. That's an
and,
NFL quarterback.
Right. And he has way better weapons that he did than last year. So I'm going to go over.
Yeah, he's an NFL quarterback that actually does have a good skill set. If Tylan Wallace and Bateman come out and do relatively anything, there's no way he's not he needs his respect, bro. He's not a terrible quarterback. He's a good quarterback too. He's Lamar Jackson just needs his weapons, bro. The Ravens are full blown always Super Bowl contenders as long as he's healthy. Disrespectful line. So with that being said, Dylan, let's hear it. Go ahead.
Right, so
defend your case on this one.
All right. I just want to start off by saying this. Whenever I get into arguments with friends about Lamar Jackson, I'm always the one defending him. And I like Lamar Jackson a lot. And I plan to draft him in fantasy this year if I can. So I would love to see him hit this mark. I'm also playing a little devil's advocate because I don't want to say over for every single one. So I just chose a couple to say under to try to argue. But there are things out of his control, I think, mainly the offensive coordinator. Those plays last year suck. And I hope that they adjusted and do better. And they're just a huge running attack. So I don't know if I'd be confident in saying the over. That's why I took the under, if that makes sense. Just because it's more things out of his control. I hope they change it around. And I love my boy, Lamar Jackson. So I hope he hits it. But I'm going under here. All right. I'm so excited to talk about this one. So excited. Baker Mayfield over under 3,850 yards.
Over.
He said it once
even
before.
Need to be an explanation.
Over.
I'm going over. But
I'm over as well.
Real quick, I can understand why that they put this line like this. Because if they are just churning out hella yards in the ground and he's kind of the same thing, he doesn't need to throw it a lot, kind of like it's some Tom Brady type of thing. It's kind of I do understand why the line is set like this. If the Browns can dominate the run and win games that way with good defense, he doesn't need to throw for a lot of yards. And as long as he can turn the ball over, I understand the line the more I think about it.
I agree with you 100%, but I just did the math. He has Austin Hooper, Jarvis Landry, and Odell Beckham Jr., and he only has to throw for 226 yards a game to hit this. 226.
Too easy for him.
Me and Connor talked about this too. A little bit of a OBJ, not revenge season, but he's just going to get back to it, I think. Also, Baker Mayfield is my guy. And in year 2, I just think the offense is going to open up for him more. I think they're going to throw a little bit more. The run game's phenomenal, but I just think in year 2 with Stefanski, I think it's going to open up. I think we're going to see him kind of blossom a little bit. And I just want to be on the record for saying this is Baker Mayfield's coming out party. This is his year.
All right.
Take a flyer on him in fantasy. Get him late.
I took him
All right,
last
we're hearing
year.
He was not great last year. All right. Anyone else on Baker? No. Okay.
Mm-mm.
All right. Russell Wilson over under 4,250 yards. And shocking, he has never hit this mark before.
Let me go last on this because I might be switching.
Oh,
All right, I'll start us off then. I'm going to say over, just because they got a new offensive coordinator who, quote unquote, wants to pass more. So
I'm literally going to roll. That was exactly what I was going to say. So me and Connor are thinking the same on this one.
all right. I'm over as well. I think I took him to be my MVP. I like the new offensive coordinator. Hopefully he gets it finally. Hunter, go.
You know what? They wanted to let Russ cook last year until Pete Carroll said, "No, I want to run the ball. I want to run the ball." So I could give a shit about what their coordinator thinks that he's going to do this year. They're going to be the same shit. Pete Carroll doesn't want to change. It's 17 games. He should hit this. He really should. He also should have an MVP. He also should have a second Super Bowl. So I'm going to under on this because I don't trust Pete Carroll at all. At all. I love Russell Wilson, but I also don't because he was like going to be a Bears quarterback, but I actually like Justin Fields more. So under.
I respect it. I do.
I like the rant.
All right, next one. Hunter, I'm assuming you want to go last for this one too.
Oh,
Josh Allen. Josh
I don't
Allen
care.
over under 4,500 yards. He hit it last year by 43 yards.
Go ahead, Connor. I'll go last.
all right, Buffalo passes almost more than anybody else in the league. I don't see them switching that up this year. Gonna go over.
Yep, weapons only young and getting better. Literally every single one of them. There's no reason they're not going to throw the ball more and more effectively. Let Josh cook. Hashtag let Josh cook.
I'm over as well because I don't know if you guys remember last year. I think it was the playoff game against the Ravens. Granted, their running backs were hurt. They ran the ball like one time in the first half. Like they just don't run the ball like that. So Josh Allen's going to be slinging the rock.
The running backs fucking suck. That's why they don't run the ball. Injured or not, they suck. Zach Moss, Devin Singletary, they suck. So
That's my boy.
Josh Allen is
I was going to say, Connor's a Devin Singletary truther.
you should stop for your own good. But because Sean McDermott's going to prove you real wrong when they don't even run him.
This is comedy.
Bro, I love Josh Allen. I think he's a top quarterback. I would love to start my franchise with him. He hit it last year by 43 yards. He has another 17 games. He has another 17 games to hit 4,500, and he just keeps growing year to year. I don't think his jump's going to be that crazy this year. I think he's going to be better, but not crazy better than last year. I think he took a huge jump last year. I think that's hard to maintain, like consistent growth, but
I agree.
The boys in blue should hit this. The boys in blue in Buffalo. Triple B.
I have a question for Dobbs, just now that we're talking about Josh Allen and the Bills. Gabriel Davis, are you high on him this year?
I'm high on him always being a productive dude. I don't know if I'm big on like the whole like big jump year kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like the career arc where dudes just come in productive, have like some years where they're like to fluctuate a little bit, and then years will go down a little. But like it's always like the base of their career is like at least a 600, 700 yard season. That's like how I picture him, like him evening out. That could be a freezing cold take. He could be an animal this year and have a great second year, like he had and build off his great rookie year. I could be wrong. That's just like since you asked, that's how I feel about it. To be honest, bro.
I mean, he's a third option there, so like it's kind of hard to have like a crazy year like that. But like I think he's talented. I think he's a fantasy sleeper, and like he's like round average draft pick like 12 or 13.
Oh, that's like great value. Yeah, no, like
there's flyer on him.
There's definitely huge room for that big jump this year. We're gonna say, Don.
I mean, it's like kind of too like how much do you really trust Emmanuel Sanders at his age too? Like obviously he's gonna contribute. He's still good, but like he's not that like type of receiver anymore either. You know what I mean? So like Gabriel Davis could contribute more.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next one we got Justin Herbert over under 4,450 yards. I feel like I'm
Over.
alone on this one.
Yeah, he had 4,300 last year with Anthony Lynn as his OC or head coach. Wait, who was calling the plays out last year?
Well, the system is still in play. I mean, like Anthony Lynn being at the helm of things really does like put a stagnation on the entire offensive process. Like no matter what, like so it's a very valid. It's a point that needs to be addressed. But,
Okay. I just didn't want to sound ignorant, but he has an extra game to get an extra 80 yards. And think about it, it was his rookie year. So I just think he'll take a big leap. Yeah, I actually don't think he's going to have that big of a leap this year. I think he's going to be a little bit better, but I think we see more of a leap in year 3 because of the coaching.
Well, it's actually
changes.
very, very interesting point, Hunter. Now that you brought it up, I got to like touch on this. So the Chargers' new offensive coordinator is actually the Saints' old quarterback coach we had for a long time, who worked with Drew Brees for a long time. I love the guy, Joe Lombardi, dude, son of Vince. Or I mean, not the actually might be. I'm pretty sure it's either son or grandson of Vince Lombardi. There's obviously direct. Yeah, there's direct blood relation though. I think it is grandson, but I think he's gonna like if I could see him filling that role great. I think the Chargers are going to explode. I mean, I'm on record saying that multiple times. So, like, I think that you guys know where I'm leaning at. That being said, I'm going over.
You know, I originally was going to go over, and I think you guys made some good points. But I'm switching. I'm going to go under. I'm going to go under. Interesting. Just kind of thought of this. Sophomore slumps are a thing. I mean, you can't say it's going to happen to anybody. Like, you can't just be like, oh, he's going to have a sophomore slump. Nobody knows. But a point that I want to make is that his passing grade under pressure, which is the most unstable part of quarterback's passing grade or whatnot, was super high last year, which was awesome. And I think that's why he got so much, like, he got gassed up for his stats and whatnot. And he had a great year and whatnot. But since how unstable that is, I see some regression from his overall play. That doesn't mean that I don't think he can not hit this. He probably can, but I don't see him having as spectacular of a year this year. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, I'm kind of so I'm going under 2. I'm kind of on that same sophomore slump vibe. Not necessarily a slump per se, but it just seems like young quarterbacks never really light up the field like that and like go crazy, like I don't know, until like the 3rd or 4th year. Yes, Dobbs.
Justin Herbert, Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler, Mike Williams, and a few more in a system that is similar to how the Saints play.
No, but
does that not concern everyone here?
I actually agree with what he's saying, though, because I have a I've always had a set mindset that second year, the way you play in your second year kind of determines how your career is going to go. Because the way I look at it is, if you can play for a whole 16 games and then play really well the next year, that means defensive coordinators and defensive players couldn't just figure out like that. That's why Adrian Peterson was so fucking dominant for so long, because doesn't matter what you do, he's just fucking good.
Yeah, and like I just want to say too, like Justin Herbert is going to be a very good quarterback in the NFL for a very long time. Like I think he's going to be like, he's a part of that next generation, like we saw with like Big Ben, even Phillip Rivers, like all those dudes. Like I think he's going to be a part of that same kind of like company where he's just going to be a good quarterback in the NFL for a really long time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. This is going to be a good line. Like he's definitely capable of hitting it. He has all the weapons to do so. I just don't know if I see it necessarily in year 2.
Yeah.
All right. Next one, we got Matt Ryan, over under 4,500 yards. He's hit this mark 7 times throughout his career.
Over. It's Matt. I mean, they're not running the ball. So
yeah. I'm going over 2.
Yeah, I think you have to say over. I started tapping out under, and I'm like, I feel like an idiot.
Like it's one of those situations where, like, no, I was going to go under 2, Connor, but it's the situation is just like they're going to have the ball too much in offense, almost where it's like type shit. He didn't have to play good. He could throw 300 yards a game and have 3 interceptions, and he still is going to hit this mark. Like it's like it's just they're going to have the ball so fucking much.
It's really true. The defense is fucking horrendous.
It's so bad. They're gonna be trying to score like 60 a game.
I can almost name every player on like a certain defense, and I think I can name 3 or 4 players on the Falcons defense.
Yeah.
If that doesn't say like it right there, then like I don't know what does.
They're just going to be playing behind almost the entire year. And he's shown that he's capable of doing it, even with, I guess he's had good receivers, but Calvin Ridley's going to fucking eat this year. Russell Gage isn't horrible. Kyle Pitts, like, he has weapons to still do it. So, like, I don't know.
That's a good, not this week, but maybe that's a good one-on-one question. Is Matt Ryan a Hall of Fame quarterback?
Oh,
That was a good question.
That is definitely interesting.
Yeah,
I don't know if we
want
want
to spaz mid recording.
You kind of did spaz mid recording.
If he won that Super Bowl, I think
he was.
yes.
Changes
but,
so
like,
much. It's literally so
They have to do.
unfortunate.
I
That
feel like
shit
they have to do
like hurts.
another deep playoff run, like a deep playoff run, like
I don't
Super
think
Bowl.
that's
Even if he
happening.
loses another, yeah, it's not happening. He's like 60.
No, it's
What if
sad,
the,
bro.
what if the
I-
Falcons
it-
just like came through and dominated this year and like made the playoffs?
I don't know. What were you saying, Dobbs?
No, like that's how deep my respect is. Because I don't have a problem with Matt Ryan or Julio Jones. I got respect for them as a Saints fan. If me as a Saints fan, trust we hate the Falcons on all occasions except for I know most Saints fans probably disagree with me. But I'm an individual thinker. I don't let anyone else sway my thinking. Seeing the Falcons lose that Super Bowl, bro, hurt. Like that, like literally seeing a team that's never won a major championship in however long it was, being in such a good position with one of the greatest, bro, Julio. I wanted to see like Julio deserves to win a ring. I know you don't deserve to win rings, you earn them. But like, if there's one player that like, bro, I wanted to see Julio win a ring. Like, I don't care that he plays for the Falcons. Julio's a fantastic generational player. That shit stings, man. It's funny now because I can always use it against Falcons fans. So it ended up working out for me in the long term. But watching that shit, dude, like that shit sucks, man. Like that's real. That was like the defining moment of Matt Ryan's career and everything. Like shit.
I'm gonna say though is
And
no one thought
too.
no one thought CP3 would be in the finals at this age with this team.
True.
So you never know.
I want to see
that
Matt
is
Ryan
a great
on
point.
the
You
team.
never know.
I want to
I
see
did.
Matt Ryan.
I
on
knew
the
he was gonna
team.
be in
He
the
still has a little
finals.
juice in him.
I knew he was going to be in the finals, and I really thought the 76ers might have. My bank account was
Yeah.
hoping it too.
Yeah.
Last person on the list, Dylan.
Yes, sir. We got Joe Burrow over under 4,250 yards. He did get hurt last year. He played 10 games. He was on pace to hit it, though, if you were to play all 16. So
I'm doing over because I think the Bengals offense is going to be shotgun snap to Joe Burrow. He's getting sacked and he just chucks it up and any of the 3 receivers just runs and grabs the ball. That's what I think is going to happen.
don't you like Joe Mixon a lot?
I was just about to talk about him.
Bomb.
I'm
The most fake good running back in the NFL. The most fake good running back.
It's
He
like
sucks.
It's like everyone tells you he's good and like you want to believe it, but you're just like sitting there watching it and you're like, fuck, dude.
They're like, no. They're like, just get Joe Mixon and then handcuff him with Giovanni Bernard. Like, no,
That's
sorry.
disgusting.
That was horrible. And that's what happens. That's what happens when you draft Joe Mixon because he's always sitting out. He's always hurt. Fuck that.
I'm taking Joe Mixon this year. I'm taking the over.
No.
Joe Burrow's going to hit this over on a screen yard pass to Joe Mixon. He's going to take it for 80 yards. And that is the play that's going to hit the fucking over. You can come
Connor,
back
you
to
need
this
to
clip
actually
later
write
on.
that
Cut this
down.
clip. Cut this.
Yeah.
Cut this.
Yeah, we need to watch this.
We need to put
This is
this out.
comedy.
That comment on the social media. Like post
Yeah.
that little clip.
This is just pure comedy.
I love it.
With no context, dude, no caption or anything.
Oh,
That's my
For real.
TikTok for the week.
All right, boys. I gotta go over on this one because I'll be on record saying it for damn sure. The Bengals have one of the best up and coming receiving cores, and it's gonna be. If they stay healthy, they're gonna be a top 3 receiving core in the league over the next 5 seasons. No lies. Like people like Jamar Chase is going to be a dominant receiver soon enough. Household name type shit. Just give it time. The Bengals are going to be lethal in due time, and the offense just might be lethal this year. The real question of the team is still just the O-line. Literally, just make Joey, just keep Joey B safe, make him feel safe. The team is winning games. That it's the difference right now of the Bengals.
I'm going over as well because of what I said before. He's on pace to hit it, and they're going to continue to throw the ball 50 times a game. So if Joe Burrow stays healthy, there's no doubt in my mind that he gets this.
So that is the end of our betting segment. We're